My name is Dr. Micah Shippee. I'm a social studies teacher at Liverpool Middle School. When I was growing up, digital technology was in its infancy. Today, students have much more engaging content available to them very easily on their own personal devices. Now the challenge for me in my classroom is to teach students critical skills where they take content that's readily accessible and craft something meaningful to them and to their world. I know that those critical skills are going to travel with them throughout their life no matter what digital tools they have access to. Those are the skills that are going to last. It is our job to prepare our students for a future that we do not entirely understand. We want to give them the skills so that in the future they can make the world a better place. Today we're going to be working on our Google Earth project.
If I had to do it all written down, I feel like I'd get bored doing it. On the computer, it's easier to understand, and it makes it more fun learning about it too. It's just better.
Education has had a long-standing relationship with technology. We as educators have always changed with it, and we can't stop now. Open the project up, label it with the title of your research. Later on, we'll bring them all together. My students know that if I ask them how they do something with their technology, that I really want to know. I'll watch students with workflow solutions that I hadn't thought of that would save me 3 clicks on a website. And I say, hey, show me how you did that. And then I'll highlight that for other students throughout the rest of the day. In that way, the students and I are connecting on 2 fronts. 1, we're growing from each other, and 2, they're recognizing that I have an interest in their lives and in what they do, and not assuming that what I do is better. I like that image. That's nice. That looks really good. So did you trace out the whole lake?
I did.
Okay, so then you're going to have some information on the right-hand side explaining what that red line is?
Mm-hmm.
That's excellent. Let me help you. Let's do this. We just have to move the file. So it looks like your device might be frozen. Is that the problem? Students get to see me fail. They get to see a teacher or an adult try something new, not perfectly polished because I haven't seen it before. And in fumbling through new technology, students are seeing rigor. They're seeing perseverance and resilience, which I believe have to be taught. In that growth, in that journey, we get connected together. I think it's very important for students to feel part of something. I'm giving you guys these for your geoimagery efforts. It's appropriate to be excited and to cherish it forever and always.
Micah's classroom is a very successful representative model of what we look for when we try to figure out how do we embed technology into what students need to know and be able to apply moving forward throughout their high school career and then obviously into the world.
My students are already attracted to these emergent tools. Now I want to help them to use them in a meaningful way. Today we're working on a Google Earth project. Right in our community, we have a freshwater lake that we can't drink the water out of. We have to pipe in fresh water from lakes that are miles and miles away. That's the result of poor decisions in our past and our local history. In our Google Earth project, we're exploring what was done to our lake so that we can understand how we shouldn't allow something like that to happen again. For this project, the first thing we did is discuss what's a good question to ask. How might we deliver content about our local community to people outside of our local community? Then we started to look for data. So we collected primary sources, really old crusty books that we have. We took a mini field trip. We walked down to the lake. We collected water samples right at the shores. We took a lot of photos, a lot of videos, and we captured some 360 Street View data as well. What we can do is, when we look at our map, we have noticed that there's a couple of points along the lake that is not on Google Street View. So we can walk and take pictures with the phone. Then we came back to the classroom and we went right to the Google Earth project page. And in our Google Earth projects, we could upload our photos that we took, we could find our Street View 360s that we had taken, and start to write and compose our story. Our focus today is to wrap up our collaborative project so that students can present to each other in class.
My group did a project on the water quality of Onondaga Lake. This is Onondaga Lake. Sewage plants dumped raw and partially treated sewage into the lake. Fishing was banned and no one was allowed to swim.
Being able to see the finished product after all that hard work is
very fulfilling.
It makes me feel a little bit smarter that I can share this with people, maybe make them interested to start their new project about their corner of the world.
I think it's important because maybe someone lives in some town far away from here and they have a lake and there's factories around it starting to pollute it, and they can learn about this and stop it before it happens.
We want to say, look at where we were, look at how we got there, look at what we've done. There's hope for you too in your communities.
Micah's ability to engage students and really attract students into thinking about history and thinking about social studies in a context that's much different than like a traditional social studies teacher. Kids love to come there because they don't really know what to expect. And it's an attraction from a perspective of, I wonder what it's going to be like today, and I think that's the real curiosity kids have, especially at the middle school level.
When I first started my career, my students would create something with pen and paper or with crayons and markers, and we would put it up on the walls of the school for the school to see and to appreciate. Now, my students are preparing media that has a global audience, where they have likes, followers, and subscribers internationally, which is a huge audience. The students are really proud of their work. They're basically building a website that can be shared by anyone around the world. This is not just built for our little school community. This is built for anyone on the planet to view and gain from.
The project makes me feel that I am part of something bigger than myself because it's helping not just our school and our everyday life, but it's helping our community.
I'm amazed at when I provide my students with a little bit of ambiguous directions, what they do with it.
He's a good teacher. He helps us understand things, even if it's a hard concept, but he makes it a fun way to learn.
Many students take the ball and run with new technology and find ways of using it that I couldn't even imagine. And I'm excited to continue to learn with them as they show me how to apply new tools. For me, it's really powerful for students to tell me through their action that what I'm doing for them is making meaning and that it matters. And when it matters to them, it helps me to be a better teacher. It inspires me to do more.